Hello, Tim from Fair Play Now on the 7th of May 2021. Got another few video recommendations here for you. First one, I'll start right off here with this guy, Alex Belfield, the voice of reason. Now, I'm not too sure about this bloke, to be honest with you. I'm not really sure he'd be the kind of guy I'd get on with if I sort of knew him in real life, but he does come out with some good reports sometimes, and he's just come back very recently from a week's ban from YouTube, so he can't be all that bad in my book if he's had a ban. But his latest, or one of his latest videos is this one here entitled Freedom in Florida, 5-Star Leadership Masterclass by Ron Desantis. And he's going on about how this guy has opened up Florida for many months. I think they started opening up, a very long time ago, and they've gone through most of the winter with barely any restrictions and not even any mask mandates as well. And I think they're just going to lift the last few restrictions that there are very, very shortly. So that's what this report's all about. And this guy Alex Belfield is basically going on about what a great guy this sort of Ron Desantis is. But if you play this video, and it's only sort of 3 minutes 18 seconds long, and all his videos are pretty short, and he attributes a lot of Florida's success to the Big V. And I just find it so strange how a lot of these anti-lockdown people are so pro-V. And one thing I find a bit weird is that he is attributing a lot of Florida's success to the Big V, and that's why they've been open or been able to stay open for so long. But I thought they kind of opened up everything at the end of sometime in September, October, which was surely before the Big V rollout started happening, because I'm sure the states pretty much like us here in the UK only started coming in December time. And so why is he attributing the success to the Big V when Florida opened up a good couple of months before the Big V started rolling out there? So I found that a bit weird, but have a look at that video and see what you think, and maybe leave a comment about it in the comment section below. So moving on, now this one I was hoping to give a bit more of a full appraisal of this video here. It's the FLCCC's latest update. They do a weekly update on a Thursday. I haven't had a chance to actually go through all this yet. As you can see here, I've only managed to watch about 15 minutes out of an hour and 18 minutes, so I'm going to be watching this tonight and making another video like this tomorrow, just about my thoughts on their latest discussions here. But you might want to just watch this tonight as well. So it's just called the FLCCC channel, their weekly update, and the one streamed just yesterday on May the 6th. So you might want to watch that tonight along with me. And going on to this one. Now this guy, David Pike, I'll sort of call him as in the fish, but not how you obviously pronounce his name. But I think even mentioning his name will sort of tends to get people into trouble. But my journey with him has been funny, really, because up until this time last year I'd have like most people, called this guy an absolute crank and total kind of conspiracy theorist. Now, that kind of thought was obviously put into my head by mainstream media, of course, and you have to wonder why they would want to put those sort of thoughts into your head about this guy. So that's an interesting one. But I actually sort of came across him with those preconceived notions on an interview or series of interviews he did last spring and summer with Brian Rose. And for some reason I was watching a few of Brian Rose's other videos at the time, and I saw he had one or two interviews with him, and I thought, that's interesting. I wonder what, because I hadn't really heard of this guy since the 90s, so I just thought he'd just dropped out of sight in recent years. But no, here he is. So I'll go on to this interview with Brian Rose, expecting to hear a load of claptrap and the ravings of a lunatic, I guess. And instead I get a guy who is obviously very, very well read, very well educated, very well informed, and able to put together a very coherent and sane argument. So I thought, that wasn't what I was expecting. Can't say I agree with everything he says. For instance, he sort of thinks that the whole sort of C-19 thing is a complete hoax. Well, I don't believe that. I've seen too many interviews with doctors, especially that FLCCC lot for one, them saying how they've been fighting it. So I don't think it's a total hoax. My personal view is that it is a real problem, but not nearly as big as you'd be led to believe, and the whole thing's been hijacked by nefarious people and sort of used to further kind of nefarious agendas. So getting back to him, I don't agree with him 100%, but I was surprised to see a lot of the things he was saying in those interviews pretty much this time last year have actually come true. For one, he was saying how they won't be lifting the lockdowns anytime soon. This is when we're in the middle of the first one. He said they'll be making this last as long as they possibly can. And of course, that's turned out to be true, as has various other things he was talking about this time last year. So, as I say, I don't agree with him 100% on what he says, but this here, hypnotised humanity in the COVID era, which I think is one of his latest videos. You can find it on BitChute. You certainly won't find this on YouTube, of course, but this is the video, and it's well worth a watch because I found this particular episode resonated with me a lot, and there's so many things in this particular episode that I really, really agree with. And he starts off with saying, well, as the title would suggest, is how everybody just seems to be hypnotised, and he explains far better than I can how that hypnosis happened, and he gives various explanations as to why he thinks it has happened, and then he goes on to give one or two predictions. Basically, I know this is about halfway through the video. He and his son Gareth are talking about the Big V rollout for children, and how they will start rolling that out in September, and then when a lot of adverse reactions happen amongst the young, they'll start saying, oh, there's a new variant which is affecting the young now, Oh dear, we better go into lockdown again in the autumn or maybe even the late summer. So that was their sort of prediction. And yeah, I think if that comes true, if what he is saying in this video comes true, I will no longer be having any doubts about this bloke at all. He'll be, as far as I'm concerned, the font of knowledge. So yeah, I've gone in just over a year from being a total skeptic as far as he's concerned to thinking, yeah, we really need to be listening to this guy. So I'd suggest that you watch this video, see what he says, see what his predictions are. Then I've just very briefly explained, but watch them in full. And yeah, if we get to sort of October time and November time this year and they've come true, yeah, I think we will know where we're at pretty much. Yeah, he then goes on later on in the video about the India situation, and he sort of explains, gives his opinions there as well as to what's going on, and pretty much in keeping with some of the other things I've been watching about India this week. He was saying it's highly coincidental how even back in February nothing was happening in India, and the mainstream media were actually saying, well, why aren't India suffering from this whole thing? And then round February time they start rolling out the big V, and now boom, they've got a huge problem. So I kind of thought that was a bit suspect, the coincidence between this whole thing starting up and coinciding with the rollout of the big V, and he kind of reiterates that in this video as well. So well worth a watch, I think. Watch all three of these videos if you can tonight or over the weekend. And as I say, I'll be back tomorrow to give more opinions on the FLCCC one. But I'll leave it there. Tim from Fair Play Now. Thanks for watching.